Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending my persuasive speech part 2 on reading and understanding history. When I was young, my father was in the Coast Guard, and we would oftentimes travel around the country when he would be stationed in new locations. And I had trouble reading, but my mother knew I had a passion for history, and so she would take me to national parks and historical sites such as Gettysburg National Park, the Capitol, the Washington Memorial, the Grand Canyon, the Petrified Natural Forest, and these helped me to see the places that I was having trouble reading at, and it gave me a better understanding to want to be able to read well and understand history, and it really helped to inspire me to have a passion for those topics and to learn as much as I could about them in my life. Reading and understanding history is important for our society and acts as a great equalizer from the rich to the poor. And reading can be difficult and challenging for many, but understanding the full grasp of history is even more challenging. Only through reading will you grow and be able to attend college, obtain a career, not just a job, and understanding our past allows citizens to be prosperous and informed members of our society. I believe everyone has not just an opportunity but an obligation to be able to read and contribute to our world. Okay? Reading, I know it doesn't seem like it's very important, but it will you will be able to have all the knowledge of of humanity at your fingertips with a little thing like a smartphone. And you can look up anything. Many people don't realize this, but the people of who will be the future leaders and technological giants of the future will come through our STEM technologies. Okay? And those youth of today will be making those decisions by fourth or fifth grade what kind of careers they want to go to. Because most people who get in technology will make those decisions in those grades, and that their education will be geared towards going in the future of what they decide in those years. So it is important that we teach our youth, especially at a young age, how to read. Because if they don't know how to read, they will be behind the ball on being able to go into fields like coding, um, AI, technology, medical, bioengineering, engineering. And if you want to be one of the, if you want to or you want your children to be able to go to, it's important we try to educate our youth on knowing how to read. Mothers oftentimes will be the most important figures in a household on this topic, and they will be able to help teach the youth and young children how to read. And so when we do that, we open up the universe to these youngs, and they can use their imaginations, and they will think up some of the craziest ideas. And you know what? When they get older, they want to put those realities into action. And so that's why reading is so important. Also, many people don't realize this, but when you get older in your years and you become a senior citizen, millions of people in this world are affected with dementia and Alzheimer's, and it will affect the sharpness of their mind and ability to think rationally. But reading, doing puzzles, things that involve using your mind, slow down the rates of these diseases. It doesn't cure them, but it allows our elderly to have a better standard of life. By just reading and doing puzzles, it helps keep the mind fresh. And so these are the reasons that reading is important. It also allows you to learn new skills. You can pick up any book in the world, and you will learn a new skill. You can be looking Spanish, English, learn about history. One of my favorite books is a book by Admiral Yi Sun Sen. He was one of the greatest military naval admirals in world history. Most people don't realize who he is, but he stopped an entire invasion by Japan into the Korean peninsula, and he never lost a single battle. 22 naval battles, and he never was defeated. His enemies feared him. Even the great, even the great military naval commanders that we would think of today, like Caesar, like Napoleon, like Admiral Nelson, all of them lost naval battles. And so, by reading books, you can learn from these great men. I'm reminded by a quote by Benjamin Franklin: an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. and Lyndon B. Johnson, who education is not a problem, education is an opportunity. And I totally agree that education is where you guys are from the rich to the poor. And everyone should remember, no matter what your circumstances in life, you can always go to a public library and pick up a ton of books and read them when you go home. I also think history, understanding history is very important for our society. Many people say, it's the past. Why does it matter? Because by understanding history, you understand yourselves. It's one of the reasons why the church teaches doing our genealogy work, so we know what our ancestors went through. 2020 seems like a challenging time for many people with the pandemic, but when you look at the challenges of our past, they're nothing. I'm reminded of a book that is by an author that I really do like, by David McCullough. It's called Pioneers, and it talks all about the of people going to the Ohio Valley in early American history, and it's social struggles and challenges they had. And by understanding history, you understand where these people came from. I'm reminded by a quote by Winston Churchill: study history, lies all the secrets of statecraft. I couldn't agree with that sentiment more. And remember, by studying history, you gain you're able to think more strategically. And many people don't realize this, but books like The Art of War and Elizabeth I, CEO, which helps you to think more strategically. You're not fighting wars and battles like the great minds of the past, like Washington, Caesar, Napoleon, Nelson, Admiral Sun Sen. But you can use those skills in corporate America because strategically it will help you to be able to work in Wall Street and think of how to solve problems. And so the lessons learned in these books are so relevant in our own world. I mean, it doesn't seem like understanding history and learning from these people is important. But when you learn and you study history, you will better understand your family, your country, your history. And by understanding that, you know who you are. And so you can know how to embrace your future and learn new skills and conquer anything that. And always remember those: no mountain that is too high. And I'm reminded by a quote by President by Monson: believe in yourself, believe in your capacity to do great things. Believe that no mountain is so high that you cannot climb it. You are a child of God with infinite capacity. And if we follow those sentiments and learn to read and understand history, the universe is at your fingertips and you can do anything as long as you have the will and the willing to put in the hard work and effort to get there. Thank you for your time for my persuasive speech, part 2.